What's going on, guys? This is Brandon Griggs from Professionally Raw on Facebook and YouTube, coming at you with the first video in the series, Cancer the Deadly Disease. And this first video is titled, The History Behind the Symbols. And the symbols I'm talking about are the medical symbols that we have grown to be familiar with, that are the symbolism of health, medicine, and healing in the United States today. I'm coming with this video first because I feel that before we even talk about cancer, that we should know the actual meaning behind the medical symbols, the names of these symbols, and where they come from, and the gods that hold these symbols, and how they were worshipped in Greek mythology. But before I get into the video, I just want to let you guys know I don't have any rights to the symbols, quotes, and videos I use in this series, and I'm only using them for educational purposes only. Now, with that being said, without any further ado, let's jump into the series. Okay, here we have two symbols, the symbols of medicine, the medical symbols. We see these on ambulances, we see these on side of hospitals, inside the hospital, almost anything associated with medicine. We see these two symbols here. The first symbol is a rod with one snake wrapped around it. It is known as, the actual name of this is the rod of Asclepius. The other one is also has a rod with two wings, also called a sun disk, with two snakes wrapped around it. And this is the staff of Hermes, and also called the caduceus. These symbols were first adopted by the Public Health Service in 1798, and then the Surgeon General's crest in 1818, and by the U.S. Marine Hospital in 1856, the U.S. Medical Corps in 1902, and then by the American Medical Association in 1912. And now, after these organizations adapted these symbols, the caduceus and the rod of Asclepius, we now know these symbols as medicine today, which I stated earlier. The first medical symbol I want to deal with is the staff of Hermes, also known as the caduceus. And Wikipedia says this about the caduceus. The caduceus, the traditional symbol of Hermes, featuring two snakes around an often winged staff, is often mistakenly used as a symbol of medicine instead of the rod of Asclepius, which we will look into later, especially in the United States. So basically, Wikipedia is saying that this is not the actual symbol of medicine. This has no association with medicine in Greek mythology. It's the rod of Asclepius. And we'll look at the rod of Asclepius later and the worship behind that god as well. But let's deal with Hermes. Who is Hermes? Hermes was an Olympian god in Greek religion and mythology, and he also was supposed to be the son of Zeus. Hermes is known by the Romans as Mercury. But as I started reading about Hermes, the thing that caught my attention, that he has a lot of similarities to Satan and the way that God describes Satan in the Bible, and that's what I want to look at next, and to show you the similarities that this god Hermes has with Satan. So let's go to the next slide so I can tie these two guys together, Hermes and Satan. Okay, the first thing is Hermes was the god of transitions, boundaries, and he was quick and cunning. When we look at 2 Corinthians 11 and 14, it says, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light." So basically, what we see here, we can tie this together, but what we see here is God is saying in the Bible that Satan has the ability to seem as if he's something good, and that he's something that is true to hold to, and that he can manipulate people in a way that we think that he is an angel from God himself. That's when it says, that's why it says transformed to the angel of light. And then we look here at Hermes and it says he was quick and cunning. So cunning is almost a way of deceiving people into thinking one thing when it's really another. Another thing, it is also said that Hermes is the god of thievery and persuasion. John 10 and 10 says, Jesus said, "The thief, Satan, cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy." So the Bible, Jesus is calling, in John 10 and 10, Jesus is calling Satan a thief. And Hermes is the god of thievery and persuasion in Greek mythology and in their religion. So my thing is, it's too close to Satan himself that this god, Hermes, is the god of thievery and persuasion. But this is the symbol that we use as medical today. So the thing is this, you see a lot of thievery and persuasion in this medical field. One thing is when you take upon these symbols, you take upon the gods and the spirits behind them. But we'll get more into that later. It also says Hermes was also depicted as one who could move freely between the worlds of the mortal and divine, as emissary and messenger of the gods, intercessor between mortals and the divine, and conductor of souls into the afterlife. When we read Job 1 and 7, this is before Satan tempted Job. It says, "And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down it." So we see here in Job 1 and 7 that God has allowed Satan in his presence and also talked to Satan himself. And he just asked Satan what he was doing. And Satan said, "I'm going to and fro in the earth." Satan doesn't move between worlds like they say Hermes does, but he does walk around the earth, roam around the earth, causing mischief. 1 Peter 5 and 8 reads, "Be sober, be vigilant," which is to be watchful, because the adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So my thing is, Hermes is the god of thievery and persuasion. He was quick and he was cunning. If he was really a god, which he was not, my thing is, what was he doing as he was moving freely between the worlds of the mortal and divine? Was he lying to the gods, persuading them to do things to the people? Was he lying to the people, stealing from the people? That's what Satan does. And these two tie in together. So I must think, was the Greeks worshiping Satan himself, but in the form and the name of another god? It's possible, and it could be so.